and welcome to another studio vlog. So today we are going to map out 2024, make some plans for the upcoming year, which I'm excited about. At the minute I've got a lot buzzing around in my head, so we need to get that down on paper and turn it into a solid plan. I think that having plans and goals is a great idea, but they need to be followed up with action, and also that you need to kind of reflect on how 2023's gone, what went well, where you could have done better, so that you can really, so that these things don't just become pie in the sky and pipe dreams, but you can actually sort of constructively work towards them. And I think there is quite a bit of a creativeness in doing that. So in order to do that fully, I'm not actually going to sit down in the studio, because I think to be reflective, to think about what I want to do, I need to get near water. I need to go for a walk out in nature, just allow all those thoughts to sort of mull over and come together, and then we will sit down and make a plan. So why don't you come and join me for a walk along Loch Ness and a cuppa? Okay, so I have divided my goals into two categories: business goals and then personal creative goals. So I'm hoping that whether you're watching this as a small business owner or as a crafter, that there's something that connects with you. I would really love it if you could share your goals as well in the comments below, and maybe we can keep each other accountable and on track throughout 2024. So business goals, first of all. The first one and main one is productivity. That always seems to be an issue with me. I have improved a lot over the past few years, and I've always had this goal of like, I really want to be ahead. I want to have a social media day where I focus on that, and a filming day, and that's just never quite worked out. And I always want to be ahead with my social media and my video, and I still find myself editing and uploading at last minute. But I've realised that one of the main issues with that is I maybe have a launch or something, and then I think, right, that's it, I don't have another launch till this time now, and I've got all this time, and during that time I'm going to get ahead and I'm going to film my YouTube videos, and then I realise there's a school holidays in the middle, and then before I know it I'm prepping again. So I think that school holidays seem to keep tripping me up, and so I want to have a much better awareness of the school holidays. And when I started thinking about that, there's 12 weeks of school holidays per calendar year. That means a whole quarter of your financial year I'm not working at full capacity. And when I suddenly realised that, it's like, well, no wonder I'm struggling. Like, that's a big chunk to lose. So I definitely want a lot more awareness surrounding that, so that I can plan for, get ahead. There's certain things that I could do. If I was ahead with my social media, that just sort of all looked after itself during the school holidays, I could work on things like designs and things like that, because it's quite easy to take my sketch pad with me or draw on my iPad. So definitely want to improve in that area. So productivity is the number one goal. So the other issue, again surrounding productivity, is trying to break down a task that I need to work on as well. So for example, the craft world is a little bit strange with regards to sales. So sales kind of really die down in October and then don't start to pick up till mid-February. that's normally the busiest quarter in a financial year for a product-based business, but it's not for the craft industry. I think everyone does their purchasing beforehand, they're making their products ready for craft sales and stuff like that. So they kind of done their crafting and they're not really thinking about it again till later. But obviously as a business, I still need sales. So I had thought of lots of ideas like doing colouring books, diaries, all sorts of things that were a bit more sort of gift orientated. That could maybe see me through the last quarter of the financial year. However, time didn't do it because of time. So for example, for a colouring book, if I want 30 pages and I want to release that in October, I really need to be drawing at least 3 to 4 pages per month to be ready for that. So that sort of breakdown of task of like, what do I want to achieve, will really help with that. So that's another element that's also connected to productivity. So last year's goals were really to improve the quality of my YouTube videos, and I feel I've done that. I definitely feel I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of learning regarding how to make videos a bit more interesting. I've made mistakes. I realised some of the videos have been a bit too pacey and a bit too quick that you're not seeing anything. So I have tried to slow it down a little bit. It's still a learning curve. It'll still take me time to get there and improve, but I do feel that I achieved that. So I want to keep going with things in YouTube. I would like to be doing more vlogging. I did set that as a goal and I have put vlogs up, but I promise you, I have filmed every single week, my week, for months, and not many of those videos have actually gone up, as you will have seen. I've got plenty of B-roll, let's just say that. We've had some great video clips, like this one from a train where everyone was being really noisy. Yes, I would like to be doing regular vlogging. I'm not going to promise every week because the reality is I am a mum and I have to kind of go with, as we've mentioned, school holidays or if she's sick of school and things like that. So I know that there'll be things that'll come and bite me in the bum. So if I say every week, I know I'm going to fail at that. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I would like to be doing it more regularly. Once a week would be lovely, but you know, we will see what we can do. With regards to the rest of social media, my Instagram last year was terrible. I just sort of, it's always been a goal of like, I really need to improve the consistency on there and the quality on there. But as I said, my focus last year was YouTube. I think you can only really focus on one social media channel at a time. Otherwise you will get burnout. So now that that's kind of ticking over a bit better, I definitely want to focus much more on Instagram and improving the consistency over there. Also for me, it's in the past I've kind of set like number goals and I don't think they're not particularly what I want, and also it just means you don't get them every year. So what I want is to build a community. I love crafting. I am passionate about crafting. I feel that it is really important to your overall health and well-being to be creative, whatever outlet you have for creativity. So I would like to share that passion, encourage people to be creative. It is important. It is just as important as getting dinner on the table and keeping your house clean. You don't want to sit there and think, oh, I'm crafting, but I should be like cleaning my kitchen floor. No. Creativity is really important. So I would love to build that confidence and people's personal confidence in what they're actually creating. So I would like to kind of really emphasize all of that within my social media channels. And also for a long time, I have considered Patreon, and I keep thinking, is this the year that I will launch it? I am seriously considering launching Patreon. So I'm going to maybe just set that as a goal. Let's do Patreon this year. In the vlogs that will come, we will have a look at a bit more. I've already worked out what I think the tiers would be, but as I prep for that, we can learn a bit more about that together. And I think that is all I have with regards to business goals. I want to keep bringing fantastic designs that you all love. But that's it for business goals. So let's just now discuss personal creative goals. So a lot of things happened to me last year that really helped me realise that I had got really stuck in a rut with regards to being a creative. I always use these. I'm in love with my Copics. I have a love affair with them. They are my favourite product. I love using them. But I also have many art and craft supplies, of which do not get a fair usage. So I do not want to get stuck just doing what I know I can do reasonably well, and not growing as an artist. So one of the main goals for me this year is going to be to mix up my colouring mediums, not to rely on these gorgeous Copics all the time, but to improve the quality of my work in a variety of colouring mediums. My main focus being watercolour. I really want to improve my watercolour skills, so that is going to be a focus for next year. Again, in that idea of personal creative development, I also want to make sure that I take classes so that I keep learning, and I would like to do one in-person art class of some description. Finally, I did read The Artist's Way this year, and it's a fantastic book. I read it from beginning to end. I am now going through it as a course week by week, and I am working through it. I think it's fantastic for really embracing your creativity and finding time for your creativity, which connects with what I was saying about trying to build a community of people that really love being creative, and building that up as to how important it is. And I think this book really resonated with me a lot. Also, I have done a lot of reading and stuff about positive psychology and things like that. That was kind of my background. And when I worked as a therapist, I've also been through therapy as well to help me with my anxiety. So a lot of the stuff in that book was tools and that I have seen within positive psychology, but tailored to the artist, which I found really, really unique. So there's two main aspects of that, and that is doing morning pages. That basically just gets all the guff out, you know, all the stuff that's in your head that's maybe holding you back from being creative, gets all that out first thing in the morning, so then you have space to be creative. And secondly, artist dates, which basically means taking time for yourself, to feed yourself, so that like you have that space to be creative and to spark ideas. So I really want those two things to be part of my regular routine. I would like to say that I do my morning pages every day, but already I've missed 2 days this week with my daughter being ill, so I realise that reality that might not happen, but it becomes regular enough that it's a habit. And same with the artist date, that I do at least once a week take time to just go and do things for myself to help to feed that creativity. So these are my goals for 2024. I hope you will join me in 2024, and hopefully we will gradually tick them off. What I think would be really interesting to do is at the end of next year, when I start setting goals for 2025, that's scary, but I bet we'll be there before we know it, that I will maybe look at this video and we will just see how much I actually managed to achieve. As I said earlier, please do let me know what you're working on, what your goals are, and let's all achieve them together. And yeah, I will see you in 2024, where our creative journey will continue.